Hi guys, my name is Mo from ATZ Finance. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're here sat down with Alina Robinson of iEvolve. She's a personal growth coach that's results driven, but also she's a proud business owner and a mother. So I'm gonna hand over a little bit to Alina just to further introduce herself. So
Yeah,
welcome here to
thank you, Mo.
back to our office in the Shard.
Yes, it's a beautiful office.
Yeah, sorry, I noticed I missed out the full title. What is the full title?
No, you haven't. You
Really?
haven't. It's personal growth results coach. It is results driven. It is about personal growth. So it's you've done it correctly.
Perfect. No, thank you so much. So, looking at my notes, I've got some serious questions on today, and we're going to find out some of these answers. So, look, first and foremost, I want to ask you about mindset and money. Slightly different from some of the other topics that we approach on the channel, but I thought it'd be quite important just to get, the perspective of a coach. You work with business owners, you are a business owner yourself.
Yes.
And as we all know, mindset and money, there's a lot of synergy, a lot of overlap there. So, first up, do successful entrepreneurs think about money differently, or is it all about discipline?
Ooh, that's a good question. In my opinion, I can only give you my perspective. Both.
Okay.
So they do think differently in terms that everything that they do think differently. So as a business owner, normally you start with a vision. So once you know where you're going, you know exactly where you're going, and you know exactly what you want. Like you have a clear picture in your mind what you want, how much money you want to have, where do you want to live, what postcode do you want to live into, where do you want your children to go to school, like really clear picture. This is one of the things that I would definitely suggest the children, the young kids learn that in school. Clear picture where you're going. Once you have that clear picture and that vision, we call it vision, and we're throwing, this word is thrown every day, like here and there and everywhere,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
comes up
very,
a
very,
lot.
very important is that clear picture. You do things, you start doing things a certain way.
Okay.
Everything that you do is in a certain way, and that requires discipline.
Okay, so that's quite interesting. I mean, you mentioned vision there, right? And obviously, we're talking about the topic of mindset when it comes to business. Now, this is something that, I talk to business owners quite a lot about, right? There's a lot of people out there that they want to get into business,
Yeah.
but perhaps they don't have the vision. Is that something that you've come across where people struggle with, trying to achieve something? They're not too sure. There's, maybe someone's out there working a 9 to 5 and they're thinking, okay, if they've got this vision of a business in their mind, but they just don't know where to start. So would you say that kind of clarifying that vision is really
Oh,
important?
it's so important. This is the part in my results as well, because when we sit down, we we evaluate. This is my first pillar of my coaching practice. We evaluate. We're really looking at the life that my client is living now and where they want to go. Like, how do I got here? Where do I go? It has to be a clear picture, a clear direction. If you don't have direction, you're just going to get lost.
Do you know what? That's quite interesting because actually yesterday I sat down with a client from America and we were discussing, reasons why we got into business. And he just asked me straight up, he said to me, why did you get into business? And I hesitated for a second. I said, do you know what? Can I really tell this guy? I said to him, look, I got into business to make lots of money. And he laughed. He said, oh, that's quite an honest answer. In the UK, it's not something that people talk about a lot. There's a bit of a taboo,
Oh,
with British
money.
culture around
Yeah,
money, right? But because he was American, he could appreciate that. He said, oh, yeah, over in America, it's like the first thing that comes to everyone's mind. So what you're saying essentially is to kind of clarify your vision, see what you want to get out of the business, and then build a business kind of career around that.
yeah, yeah. What's
Interesting.
the intention? Start with the intention.
Okay.
Like the ground zero is your intention. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I want to do what I want to do? And where am I going? It's very
Okay.
important.
So let me ask you this, right? Okay, that's talking about people trying to get into business, right? What about if you've been doing business for X amount of years and that vision can sometimes blur a bit, right? Yeah. So if you're thinking, oh, I've been doing this for so long, is it helpful even at a later stage in business to kind of refocus on that?
Of course.
Okay.
Your vision will evolve
Okay.
as you evolve as a person if you're doing the work.
Of course.
So this is where your personal growth work needs to be done in order for you to evolve even as and support your business journey as well. And yes, we don't change the vision, we change the plan. So 14 years, say you had a business for 14 years, it does change because you are not the same person that started the business 14 years ago. You are different. Either way, you are different. So yes, the plans change, the journey change, the path changes. But if you start with a clear vision, or even if you don't have it, you can refocus, get a coach, get a coach that knows where it's taking you, and get the clear vision right there. And then it's never too late. It's never too late.
Okay, so essentially what we're saying is that any stage in your business career, whether you're just starting out, you're thinking of starting out, or you've been doing business for extended period of time,
Yeah.
it can always be helpful to get a coach.
Yes.
Now, what I'm going to ask you, right, is a little bit different because we talk about coaching. I know personally I've come across quite a few different coaches. In fact, we were just talking off camera a couple of minutes ago.
Yes.
This morning, I actually bumped into someone in the gym and found out that that person is a coach as well. So I've heard of sales coaches. I've heard of growth coaches, mindset coaches. How would you classify yourself, and how does that compare when it comes to the different types of coaches? Is there maybe a certain type of coach for a certain thing, or what would you say about that?
So I can only speak from my perspective. I believe in the human sitting right across me. If the human does the work that needs to be done to develop, to understand him or herself, to expand their awareness, to resolve whatever they need to resolve within, make some space for exploration, make some space for expansion, then slowly we can infuse those new awarenesses, new insights into whatever you do in your life. Therefore, business, relationships, family, personal, it starts with personal. It is personal. Business is personal. It's the human being behind it that drives the business.
Do you know what? That's very interesting to hear because, when it comes to entrepreneurship or the business lifestyle, your personal life and your business life can sometimes overlap, right? It's not like, you go to work, you kind of force yourself to get there and you just do what your boss says. Sometimes, you're the boss, right? And if you're not in the right mindset when approaching certain tasks, then end of the day, it's not really going to work well. So business, it's always, I find it sometimes quite difficult to motivate myself, get myself into that right mindset. So what you're saying is through the benefits of coaching, you can kind of take a holistic approach, right? So not only benefit yourself, your personal life, but also benefit the business as well.
Yes. So I look after the human.
Okay,
I
interesting.
look after their thoughts. We explore their thoughts. We explore their emotion. We explore their behavior. We explore the way they are being, the way they are doing something. And that includes business as well. So, and obviously we look at the results.
Of
Hence,
course.
personal growth, results coach. And if we want to look at the results and if we want to change the results, we need to go back and think and look at your thoughts, because your thoughts dictate your behavior, your feelings, and then the results.
Okay, talking about, look, a bit on thoughts and emotions, right? So looking at decision making in a business, right? There's obviously a number of decisions that a business owner needs to make when approaching anything, right?
Yeah.
So would you say, there's a logical way to make a decision or there's an emotional way to make a decision as well? What's the balance there? How much of it should be emotional? How much of it should you just go into business purely logically, or should there be some emotional kind of attachment there? What would you have to say with, in terms of decision making?
I love that. The key word here that you have used is balance.
Okay.
And everyone is different. Some people don't want to bring their emotion into business. It's purely a business decision. But there's always a human behind that decision.
Right.
But the emotions are then locked in, so they don't access those emotions. Depends on what business you have, depends on what you want from your business, depends on the environment, a business environment that you are in. Then that dictates if you bring in, like the percentage, right? 10% emotional, because you check inward.
Right.
Everyone checks inward. to say, okay, am I doing this? Is this right? Do I feel? And most of the time, as a business owner and leaders, they do really believe in their instinct. They develop that part within them
Okay.
that is instinctively, it's your gut,
It's the
right?
right
That tells you
decision.
it's a right decision or not. And that gets developed in time. But yes, it's a balance between, and depends on what decision, but it's a balance between an emotional decision, or
Or
a
the logic.
reasonable or logical decision.
Fine, yeah.
Reason able.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the type of decision. I know that I've personally spoken to business owners when trying to make a financial decision, and obviously, from what we do in commercial finance,
Yes.
there can be a lot of apprehension, into taking on finance products, loans, debt. Sometimes a lot of these types of words can have a negative connotation. So even though it may be logically the right decision that a business owner needs to take on a loan, emotionally they find themselves holding back, and then maybe they don't go ahead with it, and then that has maybe a negative effect on the business. So that's really quite interesting, and good to understand a bit more about that.
Yeah, and we all have fears. It's as simple as that. It's what it is inside of us. It's a fear. Depends. Everyone has different fears, but if we don't understand something, then we fear it. So then we will stay away from it as much as we can. Loans, businesses. I mean, running your own business is not easy. And you've
Of
got to make
course.
decisions and everything that we've discussed about. But the fear of something is always going to be there. So you need to decide, what do you want from your life, really?
You know what? It's really interesting to hear that you say the fear of making a decision, if you don't understand it, because we find that, quite a lot as well. That's why obviously, we're a broker. So
Yes.
one of the things that we always try to, make clear to our clients is, by using a broker, you're using someone that's going to give you that trusted advice.
Yes.
So that could be similar to like using a growth coach in the business, right? Someone that you can kind of second guess decisions with, and you can work through tough, difficult decisions. Because there's always, business is always changing these days, right? So you've got to kind of have your head in the game. So it's always really,
And what I love about your approach is that you sit down with the client and you are open and willing to understand them, understand their business, understand what they need, what type of finance they need. You don't just say, okay, we can help you, but you take the time to actually understand your client. It's exactly what I do. I sit down with my client, I understand exactly where they are and where they want to go and whatever they want to explore with me. It starts with understanding, which takes you to self-awareness, then it takes you into self-exploration and self-expansion and self-growth. It starts with that.
yeah, that's interesting. I mean, one of the things that we've spoken about previously is, maybe the younger generation getting into business, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you've got some views on that, right? So would you have any advice for any of our younger viewers out there watching or listening that may be thinking of getting into business, or, not too sure about it? What's your kind of thoughts on that?
Oh, that's big. That's
Yeah?
a big question, Mo. And
Yeah, with the
it's
big questions,
touching me
right?
differently because I have a 21 very soon, 20-year-old son,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Who is dreaming to go into business. And
Really?
I know he will because that's what he desires. He has grown up in a household of myself and my husband running our own business, our family business. So he has that. He has seen us doing that all the time. So of course, for him, it's natural. His natural, organic way
Of
is to go
course.
and just to have a business. But he, like you, he wants to have a business to make money. He wants to live the life that he wants to live. But he is very disciplined.
Okay.
He understands that he saw us working very, very hard, and he
Right.
saw us showing up every single time. Like but you can't afford to be ill. You've got to go in, you've got to show up, you've got to be dedicated. It's continuous presence. And again, is discipline and is the support around them. And it's what they've been taught. And I'm afraid schools,
They're not doing the job, no?
no.
It's something we hear quite often, to be honest. It's, I think, a view that quite a lot of people share that, maybe there needs to be more done in school to teach, financial literacy. I know from my perspective, working in the finance industry, when it comes to dealing with, financial products like mortgages, loans, not many people understand them,
No.
which is great for me, because then
Like, how much is money?
that's what I do, right? But yeah,
You're
it's,
coming out of school, you don't know what money is. No
no.
one's teaching you what money is. So of course you are afraid because you don't have no understanding, even the basic understanding of money. You're very lucky to if you're raised in a household where they teach you the value of money, but they don't teach you what money is. Like the exchange of, okay, you've got £5, you can get a cookie for today, whatever. That's the exchange. But what can I do? What else I can do with that £5? What's the trade-off? I'm getting that cookie, but what's the trade-off? I could save that £5 and another £5, another £10, and I can invest it. Like, why don't we teach this to our kids when they are in school? So when they come out of school, they can actually go and invest and start something that's meaningful, that's intentional.
Yeah, so I mean, you're absolutely right there. It takes a lot of discipline. So discipline is something I'm not really a big fan of myself,
But you do
but
it either way.
yeah, it has to be done. Yeah, and there's different types of discipline, as you mentioned there, right? There's financial discipline to make sure you're managing your money correctly. There's that mindset discipline to make sure that you're thinking in the right, ways to relate to your clients or potential clients or whoever it is that you're marketing to. And there's the personal discipline as well, right? To make sure that you're keeping yourself kind of in check, right? To make sure you're managing and balancing all these things. So that's really interesting. So that kind of takes me to our next topic, right? Okay, having spoken to a number of successful people myself, and I know that you have as well, what is it that stands out about people who are successful? Do you think it's a mindset thing? Is it that they work harder? Is it sometimes, oh, they're lucky to be in a position where, what is it? What's the key number one thing that stands out about successful people? What's a bit of advice that you'd take away from there and maybe offer up to someone, maybe looking to get into business?
That's a good question. Persistence, continuous action.
Okay.
Every single day you can improve on. Don't take anything for granted and show up. Like, show up every day.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's something I've definitely heard before. It's all about, being there, right? Like, whether it's setting meetings or, I don't know, collaborating with coworkers, you have to make sure you show up and give it all,
You gotta
right?
show up. Nothing happens until you show up. And when you show up, make sure that you show up the right way. So every day is, because we're human, right? So every day we show up differently because there's different thoughts, different emotions, there's stuff that happens in our life. But if you have the discipline to distance yourself from the personal and show up in your business, sometimes you need it. Even though you are the human behind the business, sometimes you need to distance yourself to let the stuff that you have a home, for example, leave that there and then bring yourself as a leader into the business.
Okay.
And show up and be open to learn, to grow. Be open to learn every single day. Learn something. I'm a student of life. I always learn. And we can learn from everyone.
Okay.
Everyone. It doesn't matter is the cleaner in the office. It doesn't matter is someone who's making your coffee. And be nice. Like, be nice. Leave everyone with goodness, in their hearts. If you see someone smiling or they're looking good, just pay a compliment. Acknowledge people.
Do you know what? Let me just pick up on that little note there, right? So when it comes to being nice, what springs to my mind is people buy from people. So I know previously in my own business experience that sometimes I may have lost out on a client because that person's gone to someone else. And I think to myself, what is it about me versus that person, right? And I think a lot of the time it does come down. I'm not saying, I wasn't nice enough or anything, but sometimes it does come to that, right? It's how you treat other people and what those people do to reciprocate that as well, right?
100%. People, Dr. Maya Angelou says, people forget what you're saying to them, but they don't forget how you make them feel.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
it's the feeling. Again, we're coming back to the feeling.
Right. So if you're feeling kind of, good within yourself and you've got that correct mindset, that will then translate over into whatever business you're doing, right?
And it will make you feel better. If you pay a compliment to someone, it will make you feel better because you're going to make someone smile and someone happy. And that's how we are hardwired to connect.
Right.
That's what we created to. So we need to connect. We connect through a touch, through a smile, through saying hello to each other, community, support, which the landscape of humanity is changing.
Okay.
I mean, we are in the shard.
Yeah.
AI and everything else that comes along, we can use them as a tools, and hopefully we will. But the landscape of humanity is changing. However, connection, we are hardwired to connect as
Okay.
human. I believe that God created us that way, to connect and to be with each other in community.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, you touched on it. Things definitely are changing in the world. I mean, obviously, we went through COVID and everything was, quite remote and people doing meetings on Zoom. So I think things are now going back to people doing more face-to-face meetings, and these are more opportunities to connect, is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah.
And on that note as well, talking about coaching and especially growth coaching, have you seen growth in the growth coaching industry? Do you think people are more open these days in 2025 to sit down with a coach? Of course, we're seeing coaches across, sports people use coaches, business people use coaches, all different types of coaches, right? I think there's a big rise of people adopting, more maybe help in their personal life as well, maybe seeing, therapists or coaches for their own personal reasons as well. So do you think that that trend is on the up? And what do you think about that? Is it going in the right way?
It's definitely on the up.
Okay.
It's certainly, from my experience, people are trying to understand it differently. So they do their own research and they say, oh, maybe they are for me. Maybe I need some support. We are here to, as a coach, especially as a certified neurotransformational coach, I'm here for my clients to hold space for them to just explore who they are
Okay.
and unfold into who they are and who they want to become. So yes, there are, it's our vision. We need to get to do the stuff, right? We need to go to the gym. We need to read that book. The coach can't do that for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We
of
need
course.
to do the action. But if you have someone in your corner to support you when you need it, like I thought about this today, is this a good thought? Is it a true thought? It made me feel that way. So, and then it made me behave that way. And then it gave me that result. So to discuss that with someone that you trust and that can hold space for you to guide you, not to tell you what to do, to guide you, right? That is what, for me, coaching is sitting with the human being in front of me and allow them to explore who they are,
Right.
rather than me giving them my explanation, because it's their own life, it's their experience, so they know best what they need. And like you said the other day in one of your videos, you are in someone's corner, you work with the client. So to have someone in your corner is so, so important.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of consider myself as a bit of a, financial coach in those respects, because,
Right.
yeah, I definitely see a lot of crossover there. Because when talking to business owners about the financial decisions they're making, or maybe presenting a couple of options in terms of financing, it's always there's a bit of a push and pull. Sometimes people are apprehensive, but sometimes they're open to it. It's just all about having that client's best interest at heart, I guess, right? Yeah.
Right.
So, you mentioned some of the positives of using a coach to help you, support you through your journey. Now, let me ask you this. What are some of the reasons that people may be apprehensive or skeptical? What about the opposite side of things? Have you ever come across anyone that's maybe a bit skeptical towards coaching, and what are some of the reasons that crop up when it comes to that?
For sure. Again, if you don't understand it, you will fear it. plus is the stigma having a coach. Oh, do I need help? It's the shame behind it sometimes, and the fear that people will actually, ooh, I'm going to go and see a coach. They will think I'm not strong enough because, we're very good to wear our suits, and we dry clean them every day, and we tailor to perfection, to please, to perform, right? But underneath that, once we take that suit off, it's, again, I'm coming back to the human being in front of you. But if you don't understand what a coach does, and look, there's coaches and coaches.
Okay.
So that's one thing I want to say.
Right.
There's coaches and coaches.
Of course.
Instinctively, you will know that that coach is for you. And as a coach, if you are really in a place where you care about what you're doing, which I am, you will know if you are the right person for your client, because you might not be.
Okay.
It's got to be an alignment there.
Sure. So there has to be kind of, mutual kind of alignment there, right? So someone has to want to come and see a coach, and a coach has to also resonate with that person as well.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I think I definitely believe that us as coaches, we have the responsibility and the duty to educate what we are, what we're doing, who we are, and be transparent. And show up with honesty and integrity, because people can actually feel your energy.
Okay.
You can say, you can just speak like Tony Robbins, for example, but people can feel it. If you're not honest and transparent, it comes across. So they don't trust you. To establish trust between two people that want to work together and to actually unfold in someone else's space, speak about your thoughts, that's very private, as in right? So you need to trust the coach.
You definitely want to be doing that with the right person, right?
Exactly like with your business. I need to trust you and Nilesh in order for me to come and say, okay, I need help. How can you help me? This is my situation. This is from a business standpoint as well, as a business owner.
Okay.
How can you help me? I feel shame. I have this fear. My family will say something if I come and get a loan. How can you help me? And what's the best advice, or what's the best guidance for me that you can offer?
You know what? That's very interesting. You mentioned that, because that's true. I find in my industry, when people approach us and it comes time to doing finance, sometimes, I look at the case and I think, oh my God, I wish this person called us 6 months ago.
Right.
So in the case like that, it's, when do you ask for help, right?
When do you ask for help?
When do you ask for help? Is it, help with your business? Is it help with your finances? And what would you say? When do you ask for help? When it's too late? When do you know it's too late?
Don't wait until it's too late. But I'm afraid we do wait until it's too late sometimes. I'm blessed enough to have my husband as my business partner, so I have that support. So we worked together for the last 14 years. So I have my advisor and my trusted advisor. So we speak.
So the coach is coached.
So we speak to each other and we say, okay, do we need help now? What can we do? This, because there's so many things, right, that you need to consider as a business owner. But yes, unfortunately, we do wait until it's too late, and then we get ourselves in a deeper hole. So I would say just reach out to you, to Nilesh, before it's too late, for sure.
Before it's too late. Yep. Yeah. I say you heard that right. So don't wait until you're in financial trouble. If you need a business loan, make sure you reach out.
Yes.
But sorry, just on that as well, we're talking about business owners, right? So we're talking about coaching business owners, getting them in the right mindset to grow their businesses.
Ooh.
Of course, right?
Yes,
grow their businesses. That's what you want to do, right?
That's why I said ooh, because that's real.
Now, let me ask you this. Who's a business owner? When, it's all well and good sitting here, in the shower talking about business owners, are we talking about CEOs? Do you have to be turning over £100 million a year? Who is a business owner? What type of businesses have you helped? Is there a business in particular that you lean towards, an industry in particular, should I say? Or is it, if you've got like an independent sole trader out there and they need some help, would they benefit from a business coach? So, Do you want to talk a bit more about the different types of businesses that could benefit from coaching?
Yes, I love the question because when I first started my coaching practice, I always said I'm not a business coach. Even though I'm a business owner,
Right.
I'm not a business coach because what I do want to work with is the human behind the business. Because
Okay.
I knew my own struggles. I knew my own personal growth journey. That's why iEvolve was born, from my personal growth journey. So I understood that the human behind the business needs support.
Okay.
And once the human is okay, then they have enough to support and sustain the business.
Okay.
So yes, in terms of what businesses I work with, a few weeks ago, I'm working on a personal growth with, I've got a beautiful client of mine, and she's asked me if I can be her business coach.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So the personal growth is the art of coaching.
Okay.
The business coaching is the science of it.
Oh, okay.
So because we have a history of 2 years working together on a personal level, I said yes.
Okay.
Because she is rebranding, she is starting from when I first met her, she was quitting her job, and now she's a business owner.
Wow.
Now she's got the vision, she knows where she's going, and she's a business owner. So now we branding that. So I'm helping her to brand, to find a new name, to find ways of how can I work. I've got 60 things to do on the day. What do I prioritize, and so on. So yes, she's a mortgage advisor, by the way.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I love to work with small independent businesses.
Okay.
So I love to work with the human behind the business. And if we can work on the business, that's even better.
Interesting. Okay, so let me ask you this, right? Is it easier to work with women in business or men in business?
Oh, I love it. Both.
Oh,
I
yeah?
enjoy working with both because men bring a complete different perspective.
Really?
Yeah. Men think, I find.
Do you find men struggle with reaching out when it comes to help in...
Not as much.
Really?
Not as much.
Interesting.
Men are
What do you guys think?
Men are quite open. I
Okay.
love the fact they open and willing to understand who they are.
Right.
And they getting into, ooh, I'm feeling something, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or I want to feel something,
Okay,
you
interesting.
know? But yes, they definitely come at it from a different perspective, men and women.
Right. Okay, you know what? I think that's been really, really interesting. What we're going to do though, we're going to offer one final piece of advice for our viewers and listeners out there. When it comes to stress, right? So would you say stress is a killer for business? Or, you know, or give us a tip to manage stress? Because I know that, you know, when I'm talking to clients, a lot of my clients, sometimes I feel like I'm their coach or their therapist, right? You know, I'm trying to get on the phone, trying to get the deal done, but they're, you know, stressed about whatever's going on in their business. So they're trying to just, you know, offload some of that on me. So I think, you know what, stress is obviously prevalent in business. You know, all business owners at some stage or another will feel stress. What would be your major takeaway or piece of advice for managing stress in any business?
That's a big question, Mo, because it's so real
Yeah.
and it cuts through
It's
deeply.
not a small answer as well. So.
My approach to that is pause.
Okay.
Just pause. Be present. Like really be present. I've tattooed that on my arm. Be in that moment. Just return to your breath. Just remember you're a human being that's breathing first.
Okay, so like ground yourself.
Just ground yourself, center yourself, and bring yourself to a place where you can actually regulate your breathing. And what I would suggest, have Eckhart Tolle's books, The Power of Now. Be
Okay.
in the now. Because stress is not being in the now, is worrying about where you want to be in the next moment.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
pause, be in the now, be present.
Interesting. So look, guys, you heard it there, right? There's a lot more to running a business than just getting up there, getting to work, getting
Yeah.
clients, making money. You know, there's a whole aspect of personal growth that goes into it. There's, you know, things that come into it like stress, managing your time better, taking more time to be present. So, you know, Alina, I just want to thank you for
You're welcome.
being a guest on here and sharing some of your thoughts. And guys, look out for more podcasts to come. If there's anyone else you want to see here, or if you want to be here yourself, please do reach out. This has been Mo from A to Z Finance, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.